Well, quick aside for frustrated listeners, if we say number 3, what are 2 and 1 for Star Wars?
I think The Empire Strikes Back for me is number 1. So, that's episode 5 for me is my favorite. And episode 4, even though it's campy and innocent in a lot of ways, it's I don't know, like it was so foundational to me as a kid. It's like where we meet Luke and meet Han and Chewie and like all these unbelievable characters, and all the possibility of the Star Wars universe is still there. I rank Han's the Solo, the Han Solo prequel really highly. I thought it was amazing. I didn't understand people who were kind of lukewarm about that. So yeah, my top 3 are Episode 5, Episode 4, and Rogue One. And yeah, I'm not even sure what 4 would be. There's 3 stand head and shoulders for me for storytelling above the rest.
Makes sense to me. I think my list probably falls about similar, although I'm easy to please with Star Wars. I frustrate people because I don't hate Phantom Menace the way they hate Phantom Menace. But yeah, there's parts of it that are done, but did you see the lightsaber fight at the end? It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, there are parts of the prequels that I really like. I just, I wanted so much more out of them. And the one thing I really couldn't figure out is how these stories were older, but then all the like technology was shinier and newer. Like I feel like it was because the CGI had grown so much that it became a series of movies that look like they take place after the originals rather than before them. And I don't think you can account for the degradation of the Empire to explain all of that. I think it was just running a little too wild with their imagination and pushing the boundaries of what they could show with CGI. I wish it would have stayed like a little grittier and more raw like the originals. So that shocked me when I just saw how gleaming and shiny the whole thing was. And so it was hard for me to suspend disbelief for a lot of it. Also,
I don't think there's a single one of them where I don't have at least one little complaint or whatever, but I always feel like a spoiled child. Like, oh, you had a complaint? Did you get to see an amazing film with the most amazing stuff?
That's true. You have to, yeah. Yeah, it's like an incredible roller coaster, and you're upset that the handlebars are a little too sticky. I think the hardest thing is that Han didn't even believe in Jedis. No one believed in the Force. It was like because no one was out using the Force. But then you watch the prequels, and there were Jedis, and the Force was everywhere, and it wasn't that long before. We're talking 30 years earlier. So how did we go from having like Jedi councils and Jedi everywhere, and the Force was like all over the place, to 30 years later, no one believes it existed? So
yeah, that could be a little bit dark on that, just because of the time we've been living through, and I've seen the effect on propaganda on so many of our fellow citizens. 30 years of hardcore Empire propaganda, Jedis were a myth, they never happened, it's fake news.
Maybe.
I think the universe could be swayed a bit.
Maybe
that also explains what happened to the fancy, shiny yellow ships. They're like, no, people were filled with too much optimism and hope while they were cruising around in those things. We got to replace them with these square, bulky things.
Yeah. I think what's going to be great is like in 100 years, they're going to retell the Star Wars stories. They're going to make them from scratch several times over. I mean, how many Spider-Mans and Batmans have we gotten and Supermans?
Not enough.
Not enough. I agree. People we don't need another comic book movie. Like, just don't go see it. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to see all of them. Like, there could be a new superhero film every week, and I'm going to find time to watch it. Like, people complaining. These are some of the same people that loved Westerns, and they used to make like 1,000 of those a month. But I can't wait for them to tell the Star Wars story that could be 100 years from now and not make some of the same mistakes that they've made with the prequels and sequels.
Oh, but there'll always just be somebody that's upset about something. I think part of what happens is we've grown up with Star Wars. So like the original trilogy, I mean, just because I had all the action figures, I was a kid enjoying them. The prequels, the J.J. Abrams verse, they can't replicate that because I'm older. Although I must say, The Force Awakens, that I felt like it time traveled me. It's one of the few things that's ever done that. That first trailer where, we knew Harrison Ford was going to be in the movie, but the first time he and Chewie step out of the Millennium Falcon, like something in my heart just hurt. Like, oh my God, I forgot this person was in here that needed so much.
Yeah, that was amazing. It's powerful. But I have that feeling just seeing those people in person. I was in Hall H at Comic-Con in San Diego before the first of the new movies came out, and all the original actors were on stage, like everybody from the old movies, and then all the new actors from the new trilogy. And I was with my sister, and we're like the biggest Star Wars geeks, and we were screaming like the Beatles had come out in the 60s. Like we were losing our minds. And yeah, so all you have to do is put Han Solo on the big screen, and I'm going to go nuts. Don't have to tell a story; just have him walking around, like making coffee, and I'm going to go crazy. So that was a pretty easy. That was a pretty easy.
Were reassembled in another hall, but if the Star Wars cast is there, then the Beatles can wait.
yeah, that's exactly how we felt. That was an amazing experience, by the way. One of the best days of my life. At the end of the presentation, JJ got at the podium and said, okay, we're going to do something a little unusual. Now, Hall H, people camp out for 2 days to get into Hall H, and you just sit there and watch whatever panel comes out. You don't leave your seat because you don't want to miss anything. And my sister and I were in there, and JJ gets up at the end of the talk, and he's like, we're going to do something a little different now. Anybody who wants to leave, and everybody's like, we're not leaving. We're staying for the next panel. He's like, if you want to leave, you'll exit these doors, and you're going to get a special lanyard, and we're going to walk across the street to the amphitheater, and we've roped it off, and the San Diego Philharmonic is going to play the original score, and we're going to have like everyone on stage, and we're going to show some clips from the upcoming movie, and there'll be food and drinks for everybody, and everybody's going to get a lightsaber. And we all lost our collective minds, like. All of Hall H cleared out, and I feel terrible for the panel that came up next. Like, and of course, there's people waiting in line to fill up the place, but we just couldn't believe it. We walked out the gate and got these lanyards and got a glow-in-the-dark lightsaber, and we went. And there were fireworks, and they played music, and like just from being in the right place at the right time. And one of the absolute best experiences of my life. And to have my sister there for it, like we just laid in the grass and drank beers and ate hot dogs and watched clips of our favorite film and heard the best score probably ever written. And